object oriented programming language. Python is also object oriented language since it is beginning. So develop application object oriented is there. So what is object oriented? So create and use of classes and objects. Here is a to understand is given as some examples. One second. To understand examples are like object is related to real worlds like okay, anything is an object in Java and Python, as we can say like a so my mind is not working. Yeah, for example, we'll come to the objects again. So classes is a defined as a collection of object. For example, you take an example dog. Dog is a class. So class is okay, dog is there. So is a class is dog. But what is the objects? It means every dog has a breed. So what is it's a breed of dog. Okay, it's a German shepherd, some name is there, no? Like hutch dog is there, peg kind of stuff. Okay, right, like that. So every dog has, it's like a breed, color, maybe a height kind of stuff, the relevant food, like that. Okay, so it is all are properties of a class, properties of a class. Maybe if you take a class as a car. Okay, so the car has a properties, right? So what are the properties we have? For example, car, a model is a SVU hatchback, or a it can be a compact kind of stuff, or maybe a travel related things, like different type of cars are there. Companies like a Hyundai, Honda, Tata, Mahindra, these are different companies. Engine model, seven-seater model, like how many seats are there, or like this, color, like that. So car is a class, and their properties or attributes are called as a objects. So example, if you have a employee class, employee, so employee is a class, and each employee is then it should contains attributes and method, like employee email ID, name, age, salary, etc. So this is about your and a class. See, it is how to define a class name, and you are defining some statements on it. What is an object? Here it is, object is an entry that state a behavior. Okay, so like a mouse, keyboard, chair, pen, etc. So everything is a object, right? Everything in a Python is an object. So almost everything. So what is this? Almost everything, attributes and methods, all functions built in attribute is underscore doc, like yeah, what is it? Creating a, if I keep reading, then you don't understand anything. Okay, you can define a class. It need to create a object to create, allocate a memory, consider following something is there. So we'll see what is the class and attribute kind of stuff. So we'll see that one. And these are the properties of a OPS: inheritance, polymorphism, the abstraction, and encapsulation. Okay. Now OPS concept here, right? So we'll go to this one only. Okay, compulsory go to this for a class notes and all kind of stuff. I'm not giving notes. You can easily see Python is object oriented language, of course. Class is like a objects constructor or a blueprint, guys. When you are here something like a class related kind of stuff, or a blueprint, object constructor, method and all, everything is same only. So don't get confused with the method, just follow one by one line, so then you will understand. Okay. So here it is how to define a class. So we'll see that one, how to define a class, and we'll see that part. So create a class named like this properties. So here it is, he created a class. So what is this? This is the my class name, and here it is x is equal to 5. So okay, so create a object named p1 and print the value of x. Print the value of x. So that is a create a object here. It's creating a class. It's a you define a class. That's it. You do nothing, and you have to create an object to call the class and use the class in a your way. So that is the main point. So I'm trying to search from earlier to tell that one. Okay. So this is how to do it. So we'll see. This is how to define a class. So you can put anything, my class, your class, like that. So that's it. So here he given a x is equal to 5, so we can use that same example. Just we use their example, then we can change it to our example. Actually, I have other things also there. So I'm going to create an object. That's it. So P1 is an object. My class is a class. P1 is a object. Okay. Now print P1 dot x. Okay. P1 dot x. Okay. So x is a value, variable value 5. So what happened? Integer is not callable, so maybe we have to call it in different way or what? Yeah, we don't need to give brackets. That's a problem. Okay, 5 here it is. Okay, here it is. I will put a two values here. I didn't mention anywhere, but I am putting x and y. I'm calling x only. I'll get x only. If I call two things like x and y, now I'm calling x and y, 5 and 12. Okay, how to create another object? P2, my class. Okay, now I'm calling another object print p2 dot x. Okay, so I'm calling p1 object print x and y. I'm calling p2 object value print x value only, but here it is x value is always same. It's a stable x value, so no need to worry about it. And you want a y value, then it is p2 dot y. Okay, so this is about.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, tell me,
I
tell me,
have a doubt, sir.
tell me.
Sir, using one object, can we call multiple variable? Here you creating two objects for
Yes.
yeah, each one.
Mm.
So can we using one object can we call multiple variable here?
Yeah, here is I call one and two, the y and x and y both. If I mention
Okay.
z like that, I can call that one also, no problem.
Yes, yes, sir. Got
Okay,
it.
got it. Okay, so here it is. I've written like this. As here for a clear cut notes we can't give because it is has to be written in a properly while someone is teaching, or you have to remember the things and you have to do it yourself only. Okay, a clear cut notes like a step by step notes we can't give in a Python. Mainly Python means programming languages. Okay, So simple thing. Okay. This is one way of defining a classes. Otherwise also there, we'll see this. This is the init function. Usually in Java kind of stuff, Java or C++, we have a void main method, or a main method is there. So what is the method, main method or a main function it is? What is it? It is very simple. When a class is called, when a class is called, automatically the main method will load first. It will execute main method, then only other things will be load. So you can mention lot of methods or maybe a functions you can define, but the first time initialize, when a class is called, the first function is load is init function in a Python. So that is a here. It's a default init function in any in a Python. Okay, so it is called for a first time. So simply above classes are in the simplest form and are not really useful in a real application. So understand meaning of classes. We have a understanding built in init functions. All all classes have a function called uh, init function, which always execute when the class is being initiated. When a class is being initiated, that is important. Use the init function to assign value to object properties or other operations are necessary to do when object is created. Okay, so this is about your init function. So I am copying along with an examples from here, so you can try. Okay, so how to use this init function? If in case you don't want to use this init function also, you can no need to use also. Okay, it is not compulsory, but it is there. Okay, it is there. So so here it is. I'm using my class as a my class only, so I'll use this. My class is a function. Okay, so here it is. I'm defining a function. If you want to define some function in this class, you can define any function inside of that one. Okay, so my class and subject, like that you can initialize. Oh, we'll go to the init. I told about init, then we'll go to the init pattern. Okay, so I'm not going to pass this one, so it is self class. So it is always itself type self, and use anything my class subject one, subject two. So these are parameters. Okay, here I'm going to define subject one equal to self dot subject one. Okay. Subject two equal to self dot subject two. So why it is? You can change the variables also. I given same names. You can put a different names also. But self means itself. It will take the parameters into the function. So for that one, we have to define that one. That's it. Nothing more. So print statement is very simple. My subjects are okay. Subject one, comma subject two. So these are my I defined a function in my class. Now how to create an object to work with this function. How to create a object for this function. For example, CS. Okay, CS is a my object. I am calling my function, my class. That's it. Hey, what happened? Like this. Okay, now I've written a print statement like a print. Okay, sorry. You have to give the values sub 1 and sub 2, right? So tell me CSC subject, C plus plus, and next okay, Java. Just for an example, print um, values is enough. So you need to tell like a CSC CSC dot subject one. There will be, it will give you a big error, so don't worry. Yeah, so I given correct only. Name, age. Okay, so then
P1 dot subject one subject two, sir. P1 dot subject one, P1 dot subject two.
yes, this is my object and subject one.
CSC dot subject one, then again print statement CSC dot subject two.
No need. One I'm calling. I'm not calling everything, right? Maybe this is wrong. Both are same, na? So it is subject one, self dot subject two. Maybe we'll try. Yeah, here it is. My subjects are C and C++. So this is a print statement already I given. That is a print statement is coming. So only I'm calling sub one. I got this one. If I put a two things, CSC dot sub two, so I will get a this thing. Two subjects. For example, CSC, ECE, okay, my class, ECE, what are V subject, my subject, I forget. Um, yes, ECE guys are not there.
Yes, sir. VLSI.
Okay, VLSI. Mm. And tell me another subject.
PS, embedded systems.
Oh, embedded systems. Oh, you are very good. So you'll see why it is not showing. It is showing here because this print statement, because of this print statement, but it is not showing only this one because we didn't call for that one. So we have to call a class. Okay, so then object we have to call sub one, comma, ECE sub two. Uh, so dot missing. Okay, so we are getting this one. Next, who want it? Mac guys are there? Any mechanical guys?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Tell,
sir.
tell me your two subjects.
Automobile engineering, sir.
Hmm.
Sir, ST, sir, ST. Very hard subject.
Which one?
Heat transfer. ST. Heat transfer. HT, sir.
Heat transfer.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Oh, here it is. Again, we have to, if we, I forget to give the print statement, right? So print Mac guys with a subject to. Only I'm displaying only subject to. I don't want all subjects. Anything like it's your wish to do, and how to print it also we can define. So full form of things also we can able to do it. Okay. So only one time I have written a code and I define inside of one single class. Class is a collection of object, guys. Class is a collection of object. But I define a function and that is it. No, not required. You can define multiple functions in the single class also. You can define multiple functions in the single class. You can define it. So that is first important. Next, so when you define the class, when you calling for the class, it is called a when you are creating an object, so then you are passing the object parameters through the class and you will get the output from it. Okay, so like this. So how to explain, I'm not in the programming explanation kind of stuff. Okay, but still try to understand. So what happened every time? Okay, I created a objects, three objects I created. So when I call this object like this, when I call this object, so this object will verify. Okay, so this is my class. Oh, where is my class? Here is my class. And I ask subject one, which is the subject one? This is the subject one. So it will pass the statement to it and it will take it. And I given a print statement here, and also I'm getting print statement here. Okay, same thing. When it is we call for a cac dot subject to, then it first it will go to this class, and what is the subject to, and where is this class is located, and where is this subject to, and then it will go for here, and of course this is a print statement, we print get it. So this is, it will happens like that. So classes, these are all, if you define 100 classes, 100 functions, without calling it, it is become useless. So you have to call it. Okay, this is how we can able to written. Of course, so many ways you can able to write it also. So unfortunately, I don't have much videos about Python. My Python, my videos are not there. But I have programs, and I didn't remember where I stored also. For one batch only, we shared that one. Next, okay, and here it is. It's an important note. The NIT function is called automatically every time the class is being created a new object. So whenever you create a new object, automatically NIT function is automatically is called automatically. Okay. Next one is, it is not always required to define NIT. So it is not required. You can mention it with the different names also, no problem. And here it is an example of class. It is contains multiple object, also contain methods. Method is a object or a functions belongs to an object. It is okay. See, it is, so here is a function, a class is defined, and here is a init function is defined, and also we can define it as a separate function also. Like this is the way we can able to write it. So we'll go to that one. So yeah, you can take one example and you can develop on yourself also. Okay, my subject. So here it is itself type only. Myself print my subject, my favorite subject is self dot subject one. Okay, so I will call this one, nothing I'm doing it is, we didn't call this function, right? So we didn't call this function, so better call once. How to call this function? csc dot my subject, that's it. So my favorite subject is like this. Okay, so you can mention also the, here it is, you can mention subject one, subject two, like this also we can able to mention it. So this is how you can able to do it. So that's the simplest thing he's done. Okay, he then given a name directly. Okay, so p1 my function, so is insert a function that prints a greeting or a execute its on the p1 object. So when I created a one object, and I use the object to call the function also. Okay, where is it is, I create an object here, I use that object to call my function, and it is printing as per my this one also. Okay, it understand mechanical that my subject. Okay, I didn't mention any particular subject here because here already I mentioned. So this is my favorite subject it is. Okay, so this is how to define multiple things here. Any other things? Yeah, here it is self parameter refer to a current instant of class, and it is used to access variable that belongs to the classes. Okay, so itself meaning is itself only. Here is you mention ABC. See, it is ABC. If you mention self, you can mention self. So this is the initiation type. So you can see my silly object instead of self, my silly object. This is also will work. Okay, no need to put a self kind of stuff. It is only to understand which subject it is. Refer to the current instance of class. Okay, it is refer to the current instant of class. If you change this one instead of self, like this. Okay, modifying the object, we can modify the class object also, that is also possible. So we can delete it also. Modification we'll see. Modify, how to modify. It's ec ec dot subject one. I'll take subject two. Um, Tell me any other subject, digital electronics, SDLC, something. Yeah, it is given some wrong. Yeah, here it is. For one, it is okay, but it's a complex now. Print ECE dot subject to. You see, earlier it is not changing. See, previous statement it is not changing, but if you see, it is changing now. Okay, it is changing now. So that is, say it is SDLC came up, but it's actually won't change. Only in execution time only it will initiate, like it change it to from ES to SDLC, just for understanding. And also it will delete the things also, like you can put a um, well um, csc dot sub one. Okay, then print csc dot sub one. So you'll see this one. Okay, see, it is showing an error. Okay, why? Because so print statement my object no object like a print one, so this is deleted. Okay, actually it is not deleted, it is there in the script only. This is the entire script contains the information, but when it is executing this one, so in a ram it is deleted, and when it's try to print it, and it is not getting output. Okay, but it is there. If you execute two times, it is there. Yeah, for every time it is there, because every time it is initiate the your object. Okay, object into the classes. So that's a thing. I think, I hopefully you don't understand that one. Okay, this kind of stuff. Pass is another kind of stuff. Pass is a statement that is like how do you define the functions, like a same thing, like you define a class and you can put a pass also. Okay, actually my favorite functions also there, but it is not here. Okay, all are in a separate folder. Even not in this folder. Demo functions it is. I see it is nothing is there. Okay, so it's there. All my classes, subclass, this inheritance and all. Okay, guys, this is about your classes. Very small points, small points we'll cover first. Pass we can able to give, that is okay. Yeah, just only 2 points I want to tell. That is, oops. Okay, so as I know, only two things. Oops. So one is inheritance. One is inheritance. You can see, go to this um, inheritance. What is this inheritance? Inheritance has a parent class and child class. Parent class and child class. What is this parent class and child class? You can see here it is. Okay, one of the oops is a inheritance. What is inheritance? For example, I define a class. Class name is A. This is my class. Okay, and I given a some parameters. Okay, this is my class A. And define another class. We can create a multiple classes. So don't worry, we can define multiple classes. So I define class here like this, and I put some statements here. Okay, some parameters are there. So now class B I'm defining. Class B I'm defining, and also we have some parameters. So for example, I put a x, y. These two are a, is in a class A. In a class B, I put a small a and b. These two are a parameters. Individual, right? So no problem. Individual, no problem. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is, I think it is small letters. Okay. So these are two individual classes. What I want to do is, I am doing like, I put it like this. So what is this meaning is, take all the parameters from class A to class B. Here class A is individual, class B is individual. So there is no relationship. Separate classes. Both are in the same page, but separate classes. But when I give like this, class B has class A related properties or objects or parameters, whatever we call it is. Okay. So class B will take a class A related things. So that is called a inheritance. For example, class C. Okay, I define a class C and I put it like this. And I have only one object, like maybe R. So here it is again 22. Okay. So here, as I said, because of this, I got a X and Y from A. But because of this, A, B, X, Y will come to class C because of inheritance. Inheritance means the parents' properties will inherit into the child. So this is the parent. Okay, this is the parent and this is the child. Okay, so this is important point. This is called a inheritance. So one of the oops properties inheritance. Another one is polymorphism. Another one is a polymorphism, abstraction, encapsulation. These are the four properties of four things about your oops. And this is the inheritance. I clicked it right. No, this is the inheritance. No, this is the inheritance. I selected. So you said creating a parent class part. This is the last part, guys. No problem. Don't worry. Don't cry. Huh? Anybody's crying? Not it. Okay. So this is a class A. Just put a name class A. Okay. So here I'm defining. So define. So init function. So by default. So what is the pass means? You if you forget to define the things inside, so no problem. Means I put A comma B as a parameters here. Now I put a self. 1 second, someone is calling. I don't know. Hello. Hello. Yes, sir. Hackers. Okay. No, no, no. A. Why? No, no. A. A only, right? So I'm defining that A. This A. Self dot B. Okay. Instead of self, if you give some different name, also it will works. So it is not required always a self should be given. Okay. So you can give print statement or not. That is completely yeah, yours. Okay. So I'm not doing any other things here. So this is I define a class. Okay. So I'm printing A and B equals comma A comma B. Okay. So this is I defined a class. Now I have to define a something, right? So x is a object and I'm calling A and give the A value B value. So 12 comma 55 something. Now I'm going to print no need. I give an object, right? Automatically it will initiate. Whenever I create a object, when I call the object, just I'm executing object, automatically it will call. So I got this value. So no problem. Okay. So no need of more print statement kind of stuff. Not required. Now what I'm going to do is I'm putting class B. Same thing. So what is error? Colon. Guys, syntax is very important. Just in case you said I'm very good at this. So obviously they'll ask something. So compulsory syntax are important. Inheritance, try to understand inheritance. It is very easy and it is very easy to convey the message. This is it. Okay. Self dot C equal to C. Self dot D. D. So you want a print statement? Print C and D. Yes, I want to reduce the text. Okay. So that's it. Execute only one statement. Why? So because why? Why P another class. I'm initiating another class. 55 comma 66 like this. So this is AB, that is CD. So AB in A, CD from B. Okay. You want to go with one by one. So print X dot A or B. A or B. Okay. If in case. you put a y dot crd, because y is equal to a's class. Sorry, y is equal to b's class, and x is equal to a's class only. So remember that one. So when I put a x and I put a dot, so either a or a b is belongs to class A, so that is only coming. Okay, so take it once. Next, here I am just putting A. So what happens? B inheritance all A's properties. B inheritance all A's properties. Now look at this one. Y dot. I'm getting A, B, C, D. I'm getting A, B, C, D. X dot only A, B, because X belongs to A. A class contains A, B value. Y belongs to B, and B inheritance A's properties or A's parameters or variables into B class. So that's why it is showing both the things. That is called a very simple explanation of inheritance. Very simple explanation of inheritance. Yeah, C is printed, but if I put a print A, it is throwing an error. Okay, so don't worry about it why it is not getting. So important thing is, do you understand inheritance? The simple y example like this, why it is showing like this, a b c d. Okay, sentence adjustment, guys. You don't understand or understand? Okay, so it is not printing a because of, we should tell what are the things we have to inherit it. See, it is student is a subclass, and it's a, means child class, and parent is a, person. Okay, so I am taking person dot like this. So then it meaning is I am inheriting those information to me. Okay, so like that. Okay, so from person is a parent class. This is a parent class. I want these parameters like I am taking. You can mention the parent class here, or you can use a name called super. So from super class, you are taking those parameters like this. I done so many other program. Now it is given lot of gap. Okay. So here I mention a comma b comma c, and also I mention a dot initiate self. What happened to this self comma a comma b? So try again. I didn't mention anything, right? So a initiating missing c and d. Okay, 45 54. So you can see this one also changed. Okay, it is also changed to that one. So you can see this. Okay, you can print a comma b comma c comma d as here a comma b. The four values you can able to print. Okay, so this is what I've done, guys. I inherited a b from a class. So like this, you can able to do it, or you can use another way that is called a super. Okay, you can irritate same thing, same. Okay, take three positional argument given a for now it will take. See, it is. We got a output. So either you can use super or you can use a kind of stuff. Okay, so either this or that, it will work both. First one is like this I given. So I'm copying and pasting to yours. You can also try how inheritance works and how to get a values on it. Okay, and I given a super. Okay, so this is super like this, and remove this self and comma also, and both will work. You'll get same output. So this is a inheritance. That's it, guys. It is that's it. Only one last point. I'm not telling anything. Just simply in a Python. Already in morning, so we revise the Python kind of stuff, right? So important is what is Python. Okay, so important is what is Python, features of Python, use of Python, difference between Python 2 and 3, and difference between Python and other languages. So what is the meaning of platform independent? That is one cross question is there. Platform independent. Platform independent means it works in a any kind of operating system, means it works in a Mac, it works in a Windows, it works in Linux. That is called a platform independent. So it's not fixing to one operating system. Any operating system, it works. Both Python and Java. Okay, both are object oriented programming languages only. Java mainly nowadays we can able to use for a Java is only for big application kinds of stuff. Python for anything small to big application, easy to learn, faster you can type the programming. Okay, so you can give an example print statement comparison. First day I given Java print statement to Python print statement. Python is a simple single line. In a Java you have to write define the class, you have to write about main method, and then you have to give the print statement. Okay, lot of columns, lot of things you have to tell. But in Python simply print in a parenthesis, in a quotation, give the print statement. And how to install, what is the latest version, and what is the use of IDLE, what is environmental variables, what are the different places you use it. I showed IDLE, I showed now VS Code. Remaining you search it. We discussed about comments, print statements, data types. Also we discussed list tuple, set dictionary. Also we discussed it. Operators also we discussed it, and conditional statement like if else. Okay, if else if kind of stuff also we discussed it, and when loops also we discussed, while for loop also, and mm, for else sorry while else also we discussed it, and also we discussed about a break, continue, pass also we discussed. Okay, so next one is we discussed about a function, how to define a function, how to call a function. Okay, what are the different type of functions, like you can how to pass the statements into the function, how to pass the values into the parameters. Okay, okay, that is also we seen a basic lambda function also. What is lambda function? Compulsory, guys, that's the one question. So what is lambda function and how to write? So syntax. compulsory. Okay. And what are the classes and object? Class is just like a collection of objects. Okay. Or it's a class is a simply a blueprint for a creating a object kind of stuff. Okay. Okay, blueprint for a creating objects. Class is like a object constructor. So like a class is like a simply a bag. So a bag contains so many parameters. Okay, it can be used in any places. Object is like it defines a behavior of the class. Okay, it's like that one. Okay, so very simply say, so there are a lot of statements when you are coming to the practical word. So it is very simple. So class, you define a class and it do nothing. So until unless you create an object and you call for a particular class. So here it is. If you see this one, my class is a class and here it is some value. But to work with it, so I create an object. P1 is an object and my class is a class. And I'm calling the this my object with a value x. So I want to print x value. So then I said P1 my class. And also we taken things like a x value, y value. I want x value from p1 x value or a p1 p2 x value, p1 y value, p2 y value. But here is a fixed values. We didn't given any define any function, right? So then we got same output always. But here it is a different thing. Okay. I put a two. I created a two mainly two parameters. Here it is. See it is. I created a class and I defined a function. So here it is my CSC is a object, EC is a object, mechanical is a object, mech is a my object. Okay, and I passes the parameters subject one, subject two into this class. Okay, so I am asking a print statement and individually I'm getting that one. Okay, so like this you can go through it once, and when you do it, so try to understand just what you are doing, so what kind of output you are getting. Based on that you will understand that. Inheritance, I told only one thing is, so A is a parent class and B is a child class. How can we tell? Because A's parameters we can able to get into the base. Okay, so like that we can able to, when you mention A here, so automatically A's parameters come to B. So B is a child, A is a parent. That's it about your Python, guys. There's a few more things are in a Python. If you want, you can try also. Like it dates. Dates is also very easy. Just you have to type import date and time. Just you have to time date and time now. Like that you can type it. Lot of different formats you can type it. By looking at you can do it very, very simple. Trained expert is also very thing. So this is a very good one. Okay, so this is how to handle files, how to read a files, how to open the file, how to insert the data inside a file. Like that we can also will get it. So these are the few more things, but that's enough for your Python. That is more than enough. Okay, and next one is yeah, that's enough.